Hello world, my name is Ihor and today let's make a little beat from scratch on this combo, the Octatrack and the Syntakt, where the Octatrack is going to be our sampler and performance mixer and the Syntakt is going to be a drum machine and also the bass synthesizer. The main idea for today's track comes from the track that I've downloaded from Tracklib, and by the way, Tracklib is kindly sponsoring this video, but about that later. When it comes to the setup, it's quite straightforward and super simple. I've got the Syntakt over here is going to be our main brain and main clock. So by MIDI, the clock goes into the Octatrack and also the transport information so that we can start them at the same time. And also the audio is coming from the Syntakt into the inputs A and B of the Octatrack. And then the track number 1 on the Octatrack is a through track that plays back the Syntakt sound. And then the track number 8, I turned it into the master track so that we can have a master compressor. And then output gets recorded into the recorder and goes to you. And now let's have a listen to the track that is going to be our main theme. So it's called Magic Acts from the artist Ag Fu Young, and it sounds pretty much like this. It's a very long one. There is a chord change, and I really like it. So this sample was actually 140 BPM, but fortunately Octatrack can do time stretching, and I don't really want to go 140 today. We rather stay at 120 or something like that. And also this sample is quite long. It has like 4 different sections, but basically it changes the chord from F to C and then to F and to C again. But what I would like to do, I would like to play the C chord first and then F chord the second. So we can go into the slicing over here, into the slicing mode, and create 4 slices for this sample. So we can create slice grid of 4 slices. And now if we go back to our source page, we can switch the slicing on and switch to the slicing keyboard over here. And now we have our slices. So the first one, it's already time stretched, I think. And then the second one. But I would like to play them in an opposite way, basically playing the C chord first and then the F chord. And also this sample, as I mentioned, is super long. Like one chord is playing for 8 bars, and then the second one is also playing for 8 bars. And I would like to utilize that, but sometimes it's quite challenging to understand how exactly on the Electron machines you can sequence stuff for like 16 bars long. And that's where we can go into the setup of the scale on the track 5, where our sample is going to be playing. And I'm gonna put it to 64 steps, which is a maximum for the Octatrack for basically any Electron machine, as far as I know. But that's gonna be 64 steps, and it's going to be just 4 bars. What we can do additionally, we can divide the clock over here, which means that the sequence on this track is going to play 4 times slower, or instead of 4 bars, it's going to be 16 bars, right? But also we have to change our master into the infinite or 256 steps, which is 16 bars again. Quite a bit of like numbers and stuff like that, but I think we're gonna be good. So I'm gonna go into the sequence, put the first trig over here, and it's going to be our slice number 2. On the page 3, we have another slice, which is going to be slice number 1. And right now, if I play that, maybe instead of slice 1, we can use, because there is some like fade in on slice 1, maybe we can use slice 3 instead, because it's also F, and I think it's gonna play better in that situation. Anyways, also what we can do, we can put some effects. So for that, I'm gonna go into track 6 and make it neighbor track. And then on track 5, we can do a bit of high pass filter so that we don't have any super rumbling low end going. And then maybe a little bit of resonance. Yeah, and then we can use the width of the filter and modulate it with an LFO. Let's do it over here. So we're gonna go into the filter width and then a little bit of depth. And yeah, just slowly modulate the filter, which is gonna create an interesting variation. On the neighbor track, I'm gonna go into the last effect and enable dark reverb. I'm also going to make it like, no, I'm gonna leave it as mix so that we can mix it in a little bit, make time longer, high pass filter. I don't really need any low end there. It's just to have some kind of glue so that like reverts, rings a little bit after the chord changes to a different one. So it's gonna create a bit of gluing. And on the track 5, I can add, yeah, let's do flanger maybe, just a little bit. And maybe make it a touch quieter. Nice. So that's gonna be our kind of pad. Yes. And that's how I sequenced it for 16 bars long. And now let's switch to the Syntakt and work on the drums a little bit. But before doing that, let's talk about Tracklib. Tracklib is an online record store for sampling. It features a growing catalog of more than 100,000 original songs and multi-tracks for you to sample. Anything you sample from this website can get easily cleared with all the licensing, fast and affordable. Let me show you how it works. You can log in into Tracklib and use its browse feature, which features different kinds of highlights and collections to get some inspiration going. Or you can go into tracks and use its search engine to find tracks by BPM or even by range of years if you're interested in some particular period of time. Or you can go into catalog of genres and pick a specific genre that you're interested in. For example, R&B and soul. Let's pick the first one and listen to it. Tracklib also provides you with a couple of interesting features here. You can navigate the track randomly or loop a particular part of the track, like one bar, let's say, and listen how it loops, because they are beat matched, everything is to tempo and stuff like that, which is amazing. But what even better, that you can add beat to it, like this. But since this track has already drums on it, we can even go into the multi-track and, for example, find instrumental, no drums and no bass part, loop it, and add beat to it as well. Nice. We can add some docking into our kick drum so that it docks the melody, or even speed up the tempo. Nice. It's really great source of inspiration for me. And then if you want to release your track commercially, you can come back to this website and clear all the licensing for it quite fast and affordable. If you're interested in this amazing service, I've got a special offer for you. You can use a link in the description down below to get 30 days free trial and 15 credits on your account to download tracks on Tracklib, and that's actually a double comparing to the offer that they have on their website. Thanks Tracklib for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it. And now let's start working on drums. So I'm gonna go into the track 9 and select the Silky, because this is like super soft kick drum. I really like it. It almost needs no change, no nothing to work really. It sounds like this. So I'm gonna overdrive it like that. Make it a bit longer on the whole time. Yeah, like this, I think it's perfect. And yeah, let's play it. Nice. Another trick which I would like to do is to use another kick drum, the digital one over here, and put it like something like this. 11, 14, 16, something like this. So it's gonna be our ghost kick. Right now it's obviously it's too much, so I'm gonna make it like this, a bit more obvious transient, shorter. Yeah, like this, and then with an amp envelope we can make it super short and decrease the volume, filter all the rumbling low end from it. And let's listen together with the kick drum. Maybe we can change the notes a little bit. Yeah, a bit of filtering. Maybe we can do a filter envelope a little bit. And maybe this one can play only the second iteration, and this one only first. Or actually this one is gonna play the second time only, and this one always. Clap. Also super short. The right, and then let's also add hat. I really like the default hat on the Syntakt, but let's try, maybe we can find something. This, and now let's use amp envelope to make it shorter, and then the last one can have a little bit longer decay, and then we can copy this one, paste it here, and then do it like this, but it's gonna play only on the fourth iteration. Maybe this one as well, but with random condition like this. It has like 25% chance of happening. Yeah, maybe overall we can make it quieter, and maybe our pad needs to be quiet as well. Okay, and then the kick drum. We can make it longer. I like it, but then we can shape it with a amp envelope. Sounds pretty cool. Now let's add a snare. So I'm gonna again make a short one. We need quite a punchy one. Something like this. A bit of reverb. Let's actually go into reverb and make it a bit longer. So something like this. Yeah. And for the snare, I'm gonna go into 210, 816. Then the last step here can go into the delay, and delay you can make it wide, also into reverb and super bright, a bit more feedback maybe. I would like to send different things into reverb so that they kind of add stuff to the stereo field, you know, and we create some kind of ambience with that. So far good, I think. Nice. Let's go into track 5 and select clap again. Let's actually clear the sound. Yes. Darker clap. Yeah, like this. Okay. And then, as always, amp envelope. Maybe a bit brighter, but then we can also use the filter for mixing. I'm gonna remove like super low end, and then this one. Sweet. So we can put it right here and here. This one can also go into the delay and reverb. No, actually reverb has to be here. Yeah. And then this one left and this one right. This is not like a strategy, it's just different things come to my mind. I just apply them immediately and try them out. So, and then the filter, or LFO, is gonna go into the filter frequency and slowly modulate it. So that we have this kind of like different tones of percussion going around. I think the head is a bit too loud. Nice. And now let's work on our bass line, or actually sub bass. And I would like to implement the sub in a pretty much similar way. This the chord progression is done, sustained C for 8 bars, and then sustained F for 8 bars, and then perhaps ducking effect with the effects track on the Syntakt. So I'm gonna go into track 6 and enable the scale mode over here per track. And that's where we have to set things up again. So I'm gonna do master infinite, change length off, because I'm not going to change different patterns. So we have one pattern, it's safe to do like this. And then enable all the 4 pages on track 6, and also use the scale and divide the timing by 4 again. Pretty much similar what we did here. But also we have to create sustained notes, which are going to sustain for a long time, or like for actually 8 bars. And that's where we can actually do that. So I'm gonna go and set the first note to C5, and its length is going to be 128. It's amount of steps you need to play or sustain the note within 8 bars. Then I'm going to copy this one, go to page number 3, put another one here, and this one is going to be F4. So right now we have this sound, and the synth type tone is selected. Here I'm going to go into ratio and make it 2, which create this kind of bass line. Then yeah, I think that's going to be all right. And then I can go into filter and filter out some of these frequencies, and then, ooh, yes, that's the sub I was looking for. Another cool trick I like do with the sub is to go into the LFO and assign to the synth modulation, make it quite fast. Yo. Yeah, like this. Maybe a little bit of attack on the envelope. Yes. I think it's too much of overdrive. And then the second LFO can go into the feedback and slowly modulate the feedback of the modulation. So it's gonna create an interesting sub at the end. And now we can have a listen. The only thing left here is to use effects to do the ducking for it. Now I'm going to select the effects block and route delay and reverb into it, and track number 6, pretty much 7 as well, because we're going to work on it in the future. And the rest I think are fine. And now if I go into the effects itself, I can use this inverted envelope to create ducking effect. Let's have a listen to what we got so far. I also need to sequence the triggers. Yeah, it was on mute for some reason. Yes, there is a little bit of clicking, but I'm fine with that. Nice. And now I think the last piece is going to be our track 7, and I would like to create some sort of like ARP here. So I'm gonna go into synth tone again, keyboard mode. I can set our scale to major, and it's going to be F4. So F4 major, fold the keyboard. And we have this going, but we can go higher, obviously. Yeah, maybe we can leave it as this. And then use the filter envelope. And then the amp, obviously. Reverb. Delay. Some kind of dreamy sound or whatever. Let's try to play something in. So I'm gonna start. Maybe a bit louder. Okay, maybe we can mute a couple of things. And then I'm gonna do quantized recording. Actually works pretty cool, I like it. modulate a couple of things. I think again it's going to be the modulation. And the second LFO is going to the feedback. And it's going to be quite slow. So it's gonna keep our ARP changing a little bit. Nice. And maybe we can also spread the triggers themselves a little bit, left, right, and left, right. And now let's try to mix these things a bit more properly and call it a track. So I think the kick drum can be a bit louder. Then I'm gonna select track number 2 and bring it in. Track number 3. Number 4, that's our hat. Clap can be a bit louder. I would like this track to be quite, you know, relaxed. Nice. The LFO here is a little bit too much. Maybe we just can do it a little bit and move it a bit here. Yeah, like this. Let's do our bass. Bass, we can also go into the effects track and put a little bit of drive on it. Yes. And now the ARP. Or drive the hell out of it. And now bring it in. Now we can go into master and apply our compressor. I really like the knobs or representation of the values here as knobs. So the ratio. Yes. Yeah. And now we can actually do some effects. By the way, almost forgot about those. So I'm gonna put the neighbor track over here on the track 2. Then we can fade out the ARP. Let's save the pattern. And now on the neighbor track, I'm gonna put dark reverb at the end. ascend. Yep. Longer. Yeah, the high pass. Yeah, like this, but then we keep it dry. Here I would like to use the lo-fi effect. Bit of distortion, just to kind of crush it, you know? Yeah, but we can do it on the scene rather. And then on the first track here, I'm gonna put flanger, because why wouldn't you do that for your drums? And yeah, the filter is fine. And now I'm gonna hold scene B, or yeah, let's go for scene 13. I'm gonna hold it and roll off bass. Yeah, so we don't have our bass tom going, or bass drum. Let's do some crazy stuff with the flanger. A lot of feedback. Yeah, like this. But maybe instead what we can do is just have a mix on top. And then, yeah, let's remove these guys. I have to practice the Octatrack more. Yeah, like this maybe. That's gonna be a weird one. Yes. And then we send it into reverb and do this. And a bit more distortion, like that. And then we're back to normal. I mean, this is not the best effect that you can make. You can make way much more complicated than that, but I just can't. I need to spend way much more time on that. But I'm fine with this. Then we can bring back the ARP. It's very beautiful, isn't it? Sub. Nice. I think that's pretty much it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have learned something new for yourself that you can apply to your own music production workflow. I've got like a super relaxed vibe, and I was basically going for it. Really, really love it. Thanks Tracklib for sponsoring this video. It helps to run this channel quite a lot. I really appreciate that. If you consider to support me, you can like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit this bell button. There is also a Patreon, you can become my patron, check the link in the description. Also, I put affiliate links in the description as well in every video, and if you use these affiliate links to purchase something for yourself, there is not gonna be extra costs for you, but some little commission for me that helps to run this channel as well. And if you would like to check other beats from scratch videos, you can check either this one or that one. I really appreciate you, and until the next time, have fun.